What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the AstraVision Show. My name is Malik Harris.
My name is Makito Chini.
And this is the AstraVision Show where you come to
Vibe with the tribe.
Today, we are watching and diving into the lore and history of Luna Snow.
Yee.
Yeah, and this is going to go into the full comic history. I know that she did pop up in, Marvel Strikers? I can't remember. She was an original character in a previous Marvel game. I think it was the phone one. I think it was
Marvel Strikes.
Yeah. But yeah, she was an original character in the game, and then she also had a couple different comics and stuff like that. And I know that they tried to introduce her into everything because Korea popping off and getting into like that K-pop vibe side of things, but also anime is starting to trend up. So I know they're just trying to jump into different markets in general and acquire some of those fan bases and stuff like that. So there's Luna Snow, and then I know there's like the anime Lady Galacta that you see in as like the announcer for Marvel Rivals. She also is a character that they've been trying to incorporate on the anime side of things. So yeah, man, I'm sure they're gonna dive into a bunch of things. A 15-minute video. So yeah, let's see what he's talking about, and then hopefully get some type of insight. This is also from Comic Drake. Comic Drake makes some great videos diving into lore stuff. So if you want to check out more details or things like this, then go and check out his channel. I will link it in the description.
Let's get to it.
South Korean media has exploded in popularity worldwide, from Academy Award-winning films to hit TV shows to the absolute juggernaut that is Webtoon. But all of that pales in comparison to the international phenomenon of K-pop. And clearly, Marvel wanted a slice of the action. This is Luna Snow. She's a music sensation turned superhero that has seriously made a name for herself in the Marvel Universe, and that is in no small part to the huge marketing push behind her. You see, unlike most Marvel characters, Luna Snow did not actually appear in the comics first, and she was instead a creation of the mobile game Marvel Future Fight, as part of that game's push to have characters that would resonate with a wider global audience. But if you know anything about gaming, then you likely know that South Korea is one of the biggest markets out there, with the country absolutely dominating in the competitive scene of pretty much most titles. Making Luna Snow was a no-brainer. I mean, hell, it wasn't even Marvel's first attempt at doing something like.
Quick side note, if you guys are into League of Legends, we have a bunch of different videos covering that. If you're not from our League of Legends community already, we actually did the 2024 recap of the League of Legends
championship.
Yeah, the ceremony trailers, all the good stuff. You'll see. Go check it out. It's great.
This because a few years earlier they made the characters Cold Moon and Dragonfire for a Chinese video game that never ended up materializing. However, to go one step further, Marvel recruited the real-world K-pop singer Hyung So from the group Busters to release an original track as Luna. It's a pretty decent song and everything, but it got overshadowed by League of Legends dropping their virtual idol group KBA later that year, with some of the legitimately greatest K-pop songs ever made, continuing to prove that everything associated with League of Legends is great except for the game itself. And I will stand by that. League of Legends brings the absolute worst out of me. But Luna continued to be used in other games and got plenty more singles and remixes in the process. But in 2019, she was officially brought into the mainstream Marvel Comics universe, where she was finally given an opportunity to have her character fleshed out. And after reading all 30 issues that she appeared in, I can confirm that that didn't happen at all. Yeah, Luna Snow had the potential of being the next big original Marvel character, and yet they dropped the ball extremely hard by not giving her a chance to shine. Hello and welcome to Comic Drake, where I talk about comic books and my name is Drake. Let's talk about it. In order to learn truly everything about Luna Snow, that means I had to play Marvel Future Fight, but after spending hours in the game, I learned that it's basically impossible to unlock her with the in-game currency, which means I had to fork over $11 to get her, which is so much for a downloadable character, but luckily I didn't have to spend my own money thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Storyverse. If you watch this channel often, then I know you love a good story, and Storyverse is aiming to be the next evolution in storytelling through a fascinating new system that weaves their short stories through animation. By working with writers and animators from all across the world, Storyverse has stories from a variety of genres and animation disciplines, all for the low price of free. From 3D fantasy to 2D cyberpunk, Storyverse is guaranteed to scratch whatever you've been itching to read read and watch. And speaking of cyberpunk, I highly recommend checking out Transmission. It's about a cybernetic nano-tattoo infestation that perfectly captures the tension, atmosphere, and themes of class division that makes the genre so effective. Or hey, maybe you'd prefer the black and white cel-shaded look of End of the West that's all about killer cows. Watch them for yourself and let me know what you think by checking out the Storyverse app, available right now on the App Store and Google Play, completely free. And be sure to give them a follow at Storyverse for upcoming trailers and behind-the-scenes content. Once again, big thank you to Storyverse, but now let's get back to the video.
Thank you.
Sol He's parents died when she was young, so she was raised by her grandma and had dreams of becoming an idol. Sol practiced her ass off, but in order to get anywhere, she needed to first get signed by a management company and join their training camp. However, she was extremely timid at her first tryout and was nearly written off before even performing, but she was such a great dancer that she was signed on the spot. Now, we don't know how old she was when she first started out, but if this is anything like the real world, then it's not unusual for kids as young as 12 years old to be signed. And once the contract is inked, a management company essentially owns their trainee, and they are subjected to absolutely insane regimens. K-pop trainees are given a strict diet plan, a workout routine, and often trained for over 12 hours a day in singing, dancing, acting, media relations, etiquette, and foreign languages. It is not uncommon for trainees to pass out in the middle of dance practice. And the worst part is that despite all this time and effort, it's still a cutthroat industry, and there's no guarantee that a trainee will get to graduate and debut with the music group. Luckily though, Sol made some close friends during training, and the four of them were able to debut as the group Forlit, where she took up the stage name Luna. Forlit made waves after winning a contest called Idol Origins and amassed a sizable fan base even before their first concert. So with expectations set so absurdly high, their first performance needed to be equally huge. But unfortunately, because they were so new, Forlit's budget wasn't impressive, leaving their plucky manager to acquire special effects from an extremely shady dealer. Like, we have no idea what this thing even does, just quote-unquote special effects. And I mean that she's shady literally because her face is cloaked in shadows. But anyway, the concert starts and everything is going well, but who is this woman hiding in the darkness? It's the Joro Spider.
Jesus.
Who? Yeah, don't worry. She is a completely new character and doesn't appear again after this issue, but it's wild how the artist tried to build this up like it was some huge reveal. All you need to know is that she works for the villainous organization AIM, and she's got a Trojan program inside of the vague special effects machine to take control of the stadium. Because you see, the concert is being held at Cirque Arena, which is completely powered by a revolutionary cold fusion reactor, which is only accessible while the stadium is active. This is why they couldn't do the more obvious kind of heist, like posing as janitors or something and then stealing the reactor when there's less security and civilians because there's, you know, celebrities performing there. And if you really think about it, this also implies that the only time that maintenance can be performed on the reactor is when there is an active event going on. Call me crazy, but if I was hosting an event that was at a facility powered by an experimental nuclear reactor, then I would personally feel a lot more safe if it was checked out before the big day.
Random side note. I just looked at the background. I thought it was all superhero logos, and then I seen fucking the Straw Hat logo out there, and I'm like, wait a minute, what is this? And then I seen Dragon Ball Z down there. It's like mostly superhero. I don't know if anyone else seen this. Sorry, ADHD brain. All right, back to the video.
There's also a Full Metal Alchemist on there too, and then Dragon Ball Z down there.
Which is Full Metal Alchemist?
He's standing in front of it.
Oh, okay.
But it's in there.
Anyway, Joro Spider crashes the concert and takes Forlit hostage while her goons go find the stabilizer's core. Luna immediately gets in between AIM and her friends, but because her training didn't include hand-to-hand combat, she is predictably overpowered with relative ease. And to show that they really mean business, Joro Spider has her henchmen throw the band into the reactor so they can all watch each other freeze to death. However, Luna tried to escape, and in the process, she destabilized the reactor and was blasted with cryo energy, which instead of instantly killing her, the energy gave Luna heterochromia, a split dye job, and the ability to create ice, because comics. With her new powers, Luna was able to single-handedly take down AIM and save the day, with the fans thanking her by giving Sol the new name of Luna Snow. So, about Luna's powers. It's not brought up very often, but the whole black and white color scheme that she has going on is because she can create two types of ice. There's dark ice that's used for destruction, and light ice which has healing properties. I honestly have no idea how it's supposed to work, since all of her ice looks like, you know, regular ice. But in the shot where she first gets her powers, you can actually see the black ice, but never again. To be entirely honest, I had no idea that she even had different ice types until I saw her healing in one shot, and I was like, when the hell was that established? established, and then I discovered that it was just mentioned offhand on a character sheet in the back of an issue. Now, that being said, when I unlocked her in Future Fight, the light and dark ices are both there, which seems like a pretty important part of her power set, and yet none of the comic writers or artists that handle her decided to showcase this in any meaningful way. And by the way, that character sheet is also where I learned that her name apparently means ice and hope, which puts her in great company of Victor Freeze and Caitlin Frost for people that obtaining ice powers having conveniently chilly names. Around the same time as Luna Snow's introduction, Marvel attempted to break into the Chinese market with the legitimately entertaining Arrow and Swordmaster books. And I'm almost certain that what happened is that Marvel went, cool, we got all these original Asian superheroes now, but what if we just put them all into the same team? And thus, the new Agents of Atlas was formed. Now, the Agents definitely need their own dedicated video in the future because they are super interesting.
Oh, that's the Asian Hulk that I was
Here's
talking
what you need to
about
know.
in,
Remember Randall Park's character from the MCU, Jimmy Woo? Well, he's actually a character that predates Marvel Comics and was notable for being an Asian protagonist that was not a stereotype. Years later, he was reintroduced as a secret agent that assembled a wacky superhero team based on an old What If comic. And in the late 2010s, Jimmy wanted to create a new arm of that group that was meant to be a sort of pan-Asian unity force. Conveniently, Jimmy was given an opportunity to assemble this team because right when he was in the middle of giving the recruitment pitch to a few Asian American heroes, the War of the Realms event kicked off, and Cinder, the queen of the fire giants, invaded Seoul. Luna Snow was a first responder alongside fellow Korean heroes Crescent and White Fox, but when Jimmy teleported his new group over, the former Hulk Amadeus Cho tried to take out some of the fire giants by spraying them with water, but Luna was caught in the splash zone, and she ended up freezing herself in a massive block of ice. The ragtag team tried to get Luna out, but Jimmy forced them to make a tactical retreat, which left her in fire giant captivity. Though they did manage to free her by disguising Amadeus as a fire giant by covering him in their butt nuggets. Look, I think Greg Pak is a generally good writer. Planet Hulk is an all-time classic. Incredible Hercules was an absolute blast, but in my opinion, this War of the Realms tie-in was a literal stinker. Once again, Amadeus Cho had to set himself ablaze with ass fire. That being said, this book was actually a huge success for Marvel, but take that with a grain of salt because one of the main reasons for that success was that Marvel ran a buy one get one free promotion, so the retailers got a bunch of extra issues completely free. And look, I know that I'm ragging on this book a lot, but it's not like it was all bad. Like, there's the moment where the team puts aside their frustrations and cultural differences by focusing on their mutual love for spam, and admittedly, it's a pretty great scene. In the end, the new Agents of Atlas managed to defeat the Fire Giants and got their own miniseries where the themes of Pan-Asian unity were played with in a pretty interesting, albeit extraordinarily on-the-nose way. So there's a billionaire named Mike Wynn, and you know the Silicon Valley motto of move fast and break things? Well, Wynn bought up real estate in Seoul, Tokyo, Jakarta, Mumbai, Madripoor, and Hilo, and was able to use portal technology to create a patchwork city called Pan, and set up portals in each city so that folks can travel between each connected country without passports, customs, or tariffs. The only trade-off, though, is that like every other tech startup these days, access to the city of Pan is a subscription service that costs $1,000 a day. And it's under constant attack from dragons. Can you imagine? Dragons. Luckily though, Pan has a protector called Protector, and he has a big crush on Luna, which puts him at odds with Amadeus, who is also into her. Despite the fact that Pan is a powder keg that's one spark away from complete disaster, all the Agents of Atlas completely buy into the idea of Pan, with the sole exceptions of Amadeus and Luna, who bond over their mutual skepticism. Now, when Pan went live, a raft of refugees trying to escape Madripoor got caught in the portal, and they were directly in the crossfire of a wave of dragons that were attacking the city. Luckily though, Luna and Amadeus were taking a walk on the beach, trying to figure out what Wynn's endgame was, and they worked together to save the refugees. The two of them got swept up in the action and they kissed because like all the adrenaline and the hormones, but Pan Security caught the entire thing, and Mike Wynn immediately starts using it to advertise the city as a destination for action, adventure, and romance.
Damn.
Small problem though, just like how many female Twitch streamers suffer mass unfollows when they reveal they have a boyfriend, many K-pop idols have explicit no dating clauses in their contracts because it's marketable for delusional fanboys to think that they actually have a chance to win their hearts, and Luna is no exception to this. Luckily, her lawyers managed to get Wynn to pull the ad and pay her a $12 million settlement, but that's pretty much it for her entire arc in this book. The romance with Amadeus goes literally nowhere, and even though they built up Protector as this romantic rival, he doesn't get involved because once the kissing photo went viral, he immediately starts dating another member of the Agents of Atlas. It is one of the least interesting love triangles that I have ever read in a comic book. Although Agents of Atlas is supposed to be a team book, it's really just about Amadeus. So everyone, including Luna, doesn't really get a whole lot to do. We find out that Pan is being powered by an Atlantean dragon, so there's a mini-series where the team has to fight Namor and his army since, you know, they're trying to get their dragon and take it back home, but Luna's role is to shoot ice during the big action scenes and be in the background, and really, that's about it. It's extremely underwhelming. There was a lot of potential with Agents of Atlas, but unfortunately, it would never get the chance to actually improve upon the story since it was being released in 2020, and it got caught up in delays due to the pandemic. A lot of the momentum from the Atlantis Attacks crossover event was zapped during the 8-month delays between issues 3 and 4, and by then, there was a new company-wide event that was coming out, so they kind of had to tie it into that, and the entire thing just became a huge mess. As a result, Luna Snow just melted into the background and mostly functions as a world-building element these days. She gets name-dropped as a musician that characters like, kind of like Dazzler, and she shows up in the background of other books, and she had a quick team-up with Silk, which was pretty cool. Although she still teams up with the Agents of Atlas on occasion, Marvel seems to have decided to instead move her over to focus on a strictly Korean super team called Tiger Division. But much like with Agents of Atlas, it's technically a group book, but it almost exclusively focuses on their leader, Taguchi, who's literally just Korean Superman. I know I keep on saying it, but there is just so much untapped potential with Luna Snow. She's still pretty underdeveloped, so she is the perfect blank slate to do something interesting with. And considering how much the Korean side of the Marvel Universe has been expanded upon lately with things like Tiger Division, there is so much to pull from and plenty of amazing characters to play off of. I'm just spitballing here, but maybe they could make a comic showing off the balancing act of being an international music sensation and a crime fighter at the same time. It could really lean into the public relations aspect of the impossible task of trying to become universally adored. Maybe they could take inspiration from the truly outrageous Jim and the Holograms comic with its beautiful way of visualizing music numbers. This could be an absolutely fantastic slice of life series on Webtoon that is perfectly set up to capture a brand new audience and possibly bring them over to more mainstream Marvel comics. But also, as I said earlier, Arrow and Swordmaster were introduced around the same time as Luna, but unlike her, they were actually given their own solo books, and as a result, I understand who they are as characters, and I'm more invested in them because those books were legitimately solid, interesting, and entertaining. Even now with Swordmaster being the new Iron Fist, I enjoy his whole arc about trying to get the broken shards of his magic sword out of his body even more because I was there from day one with his adventures when he discovered it in the first place. I don't know, man, I just think that DC has really been killing it with Webtoon lately with their comics like Wayne Family Adventures, and with such a great looking character that you can get royalties from through like the music streaming and like obvious product placement like with Korean skincare, it's obvious that Marvel is leaving some big money on the table by not giving Luna Snow the proper focus, marketing, character development that she deserves. I don't know, that's enough of my ranting, but hopefully you learned at least a little something new, and hopefully I'll see you next time.
So Luna's just a background character. Got it.
Yeah, it's like there's 15 minutes of saying, hey, she's not very good. No, it's crazy because I was thinking about putting this Luna Snow together with Squirrel Girl, because that's also another character who's like, I mean, Squirrel Girl has stuff, you know, she has books and stuff like that, graphic novels and things like that. She didn't pop out, she didn't come from like a game stuff. She's like back in Golden Age, but she definitely looks a lot better. Yeah, see that picture up there on the top left? Yeah, she was looking very haggard back in the day, so
She looks like a boy.
Yeah, she really does look like a boy right there. Anyway, I was gonna put them together because I felt like they both didn't really have a lot to say. I don't know about Squirrel Girl though. I know she does have the whole unbeatable thing, and she's taken down Galactus and all, you know, everyone else. But I feel like that's a character that it doesn't feel like they take her as serious as they could. You know what I mean? Similar to like a Luna Snow. So I'm wondering if Marvel Rivals is going to help perpetuate her, because I know, I had no idea who the fuck she was before Marvel Rivals. You know what I mean? So I don't think a lot of people did. So, but let me know if you guys heard of Luna Snow, or if you guys were fans of her before Marvel Rivals. That'd be very interesting to see.
Or if you've ever heard of her before the game.
Yeah, exactly. And then also let us know what other videos or characters you want us to jump into. I think I'm going to start trying to piece together a couple of different videos from different, you know, sources and things like that, so that way you guys can get more information on these characters all at one time. So, yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah.
Got anything?
Not at all.
Yeah.
And then, like I always say, we'll see you guys next time.
Yes. Appreciate y'all. Much love. Peace.